Man, this happened a while back when I was hauling through deep rural Kentucky. I'm talking no signal, no gas stations, no streetlights, just darkness, trees, and the hum of the tires on the pavement. It was somewhere around 1 or 2 in the morning, and I was pushing through. I was tired, no doubt, but when you've got a load to deliver and no time to waste, you just keep it moving. Hammer down. I'm cruising down this narrow 2-lane highway. Nothing but hills, woods, and silence on both sides. Out of nowhere, my headlights sweep across something on the shoulder. It took a second for my brain to process what I was looking at. Then it hit me. It was a young woman, standing there all alone, her thumb out like she was trying to hitch a ride. The second I realized what I was seeing, every hair on my neck stood up. I felt this ice-cold chill crawl up my back. I didn't even have time to think, just reacted. My gut screamed, "Don't stop! Keep going. Something ain't right." And I listened. I didn't slow down, didn't swerve, just stayed in my lane and rolled right past her. But the feeling didn't leave me. If anything, it got stronger the farther I drove. I couldn't stop thinking. What was she doing out there? That road didn't have a house, a gas station, or even a lit-up sign for miles. Just pitch-black woods and no good reason for anyone to be standing in that spot. What really got to me, though, was how calm she looked. Not panicked, not scared, just standing there like she was waiting for the next person to pull over. That's what made it feel wrong, like she wasn't alone, like it was all a setup. And then it hit me. What if someone else was just out of view? She flags you down, gives you a story to keep you talking, and while you're distracted, someone sneaks up behind you. You get jumped, knocked out, or worse. They take your rig, your wallet, and leave you in a ditch without help for miles. I've been on the road long enough to know when something's off, and that night, everything about it screamed danger. This wasn't just a better safe than sorry moment. This was a you stop and you might not make it home kind of moment. I finally pulled into a rest stop an hour later. Still thinking, still feeling it. Maybe she needed help. Maybe. But my gut told me if I stopped, I wouldn't be here telling you this story. The road teaches you a lot. It sharpens your instincts, makes you see through what looks innocent. Out there, one mistake can cost everything. So if you ever feel something's off in the dark, don't second guess it. Trust your gut, just keep driving.
I used to work as a road train driver in the Gascoyne region, out in the middle of nowhere outback Western Australia. Endless stretches of dirt roads, red dust, and sky so wide it almost swallows you. Out there, it's not just the heat or isolation that gets to you. It's the night, especially when you're running solo, half asleep, and hours away from the nearest soul. That's when the mind starts playing tricks. I can't even count how many times I've seen things that weren't really there. Shadows twitching just past the headlights. Goats that look like monsters. Once I swear I saw 3 of them shift into one large figure before disappearing completely. Maybe it was the fatigue. Maybe something else. But the worst night I had, the one that stuck with me, I'll never forget it. I'd pulled over after a long haul to let the engine cool. Just a short stop. 10 minutes of stillness. Nothing but the faint creak of the metal, cooling down and the hum of the desert wind outside. I laid down in the sleeper to grab some rest, engine off, everything quiet. Not even 30 minutes later, I woke up to this strange noise. Not voices, not animals, but something with rhythm. A kind of pattern that felt deliberate, like the sound had intention behind it. Then the truck started shaking. And I don't mean a breeze eye. I mean the whole cab swayed. Like something massive was outside pushing it. I froze, heart racing. I reached up, checked the mirror, and I swear I saw figures, shadows moving around the truck. Could have been the wind. Could have been goats. But they didn't move like goats. They moved like people. Only there was no one out there. No camps, no cars, no lights. Just me and whatever that was. I didn't stick around to find out. I fired up the truck, flipped on every light I had, roof lights, floodlights, high beams, and floored it. Gravel sprayed behind me as I tore off down that dusty track toward the port. That truck was big, real big. It takes a lot to rock it like that. And I knew I hadn't imagined the noise. I kept the lights on for hours after that. Didn't sleep another minute the rest of the shift. I told myself it was wind, exhaustion, a couple curious animals. But deep down, I knew better. That part of the Outback has stories. Every driver hears them eventually. I just didn't expect to be in one. After that night, I never slept during a night shift again. Not once. The Gascoigne teaches you respect for the road, for the land, and for whatever else might be watching out there in the dark. This happened a few years back, when I was running Hot Shot, freight across the Great Plains. I was on a solo haul heading west through North Dakota around 2 in the morning. The roads out there stretched forever long, flat and straight, with nothing but dark sky and empty fields on either side. I was moving quick, trying to get a tractor part to a farm out in Montana before sunrise. It was urgent. The part was holding up a whole day's worth of work for a big operation, and I wasn't about to be the reason a crew couldn't get paid. I'd driven this route more times than I could count, and like always, I felt highway hypnosis creeping in. The kind where your eyes stay open, but your brain drifts just a bit. But I was locked in. I've handled worse. Then, way up ahead, I saw something stretched across my lane. Maybe a half mile out. At first, I thought it was a blown tire, maybe a strip of retread. Nothing unusual. I slowed up a little and started easing into the opposite lane, just to be safe. But as I got closer, my stomach sank. It wasn't a tire. It was 2 people laying on the road, head to toe, stretched perfectly across my lane, not moving. No flinching. No effort to get up. I swerved just in time, landed in the oncoming lane, and came to an almost complete stop. My instincts told me to hit the brakes fully and check on them. But something didn't feel right. That kind of stillness. That kind of timing. It wasn't normal. And that's when a story came rushing back to me. Something a grizzled old driver once told me at a truck stop late one night. He said that in some remote areas, people will lay across the road, make it look like they need help, and when a driver stops, others hiding in the bush come out. They beat him down, steal his rig, and leave him stranded with no way to call for help. And out here, in the middle of North Dakota with no cars behind me, no lights around, and nothing but silence, that story didn't feel so far-fetched anymore. I kept my truck in drive. I didn't get out. I didn't back up. I didn't say a word. I just kept going. And when I started rolling forward again, those 2 people stood up. No limping. No signs of injury. They walked toward the shoulder like nothing happened. That confirmed it for me. I called the state troopers and gave them the location as best I could. But I knew how remote that area was. They might have been long gone before anyone got there. Either way, I wasn't about to become another missing person statistic. Thanks to that old driver's warning, I kept my truck, my cargo, and my skin. Out here, experience keeps you alive. And when something feels wrong, you trust it.
It was about 3 a.m., and I was parked off an exit ramp, shutting down for my 10-hour break. The sky was clear and the moon was big and full, high up, throwing silver light over everything around me. I leaned back in the seat, cracked the window, and looked out over a nearby cornfield. Cut low, just stubs and stalks left, but out in the middle of it, I saw a figure, human, no doubt about it. It wasn't moving, just standing there, arms to the side. Still, I figured it had to be some old-timers, scarecrow or a Halloween leftover. A little weird at that hour, sure, but I brushed it off and pulled out my phone, put on a YouTube video to wind down. A few minutes in, I caught movement out the corner of my eye. Quick. Subtle. I paused the video and looked. Out again. The figure was still there, but I swear it looked like it had shifted. Just slightly. Maybe 10 feet closer to the roadside. It was probably my imagination. My eyes playing tricks in the moonlight. That's what I told myself. But the vibe? Unsettling. The highway was dead quiet. Just a car every 10 minutes, if that. I didn't want to get out, but nature was calling. I thought about grabbing a bottle, but told myself I was being paranoid. I peeked again before climbing down. The figure? Still there, same spot. I stepped out, walked between the trailer and the cab, and started relieving myself, trying to ignore the knot forming in my stomach. But every second I stood there, the unease grew heavier. Something in me said to look. I didn't want to, but I did. I turned my head. And the field was empty. The figure was gone. Not fallen over. Not shifted. Just gone. I froze, my body went cold. I zipped up, heart pounding, and bolted back into the cab. Slammed the door, started the truck, and didn't care one bit about the violation. I took off. No pre-trip, no lights check, nothing. Just straight down the highway like the devil himself was behind me. I didn't stop until I hit a fully lit Love's about 40 minutes away. The kind with the bright yellow canopy, big lot, packed with trucks and people walking around. I've never been so relieved to see brake lights and other drivers. To this day, I don't know what I saw. Maybe it was a prank. Maybe my mind was messing with me after too many hours on the road. But I've played that night back in my head 1,000 times. That figure, it was real. And it was watching me. Whatever it was, I made a promise after that night. I don't park on exit ramps anymore. I don't care how tired I am. I'll take a crowded fuel island over the silence of the highway and a moonlit field every single time.